having it square in Neptune in Pisces. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're doing something that has not been done in a while. I'm talking about the medical astrology readings. Yeah, I've been doing it for myself, but, and for the collective, I just haven't come on here to share with you guys. I have shared on my business page, but not on here. So I'm bringing it back onto this platform because I think, cosmological and analyzations, depending on the person, are really important. So especially pertaining to your health, things that we need to be collectively aware of, I think is really important. So bring that back. And today we're going to focus on the things that are showing up between today, which is January 5th, between now and about mid-February. So this shouldn't be a long video, but in case it is, even if it's not, grab a cup of tea and let's discuss what is coming up. So immediately looking up, I was just writing down the placements, particularly squares and sextiles, to see what was coming up, because squares tell you where there's any tension. So squares indicate where there may be any tension that may be brewing up or really establishing itself. And then sextiles really are just a merge of energies, which we experienced a huge merge with the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction that happened last month. So that itself was very powerful. If you are joking about your powers activating, it's not a joke. The universe is going to come back and ask you what you're doing with those powers. But anyway, so these squares, and looking at the squares coming up, there's Saturn in Aquarius squaring Uranus in Taurus. And there's also Jupiter in Aquarius squaring Uranus in Taurus, and Neptune in Pisces squaring in the true north node in Gemini, all within the span of the end of January to mid-February. And what these mean, now I saw a pattern between the air plants and earth plants, which right now weeds, I don't know if you've noticed, but weeds are thriving. They tend to thrive in, how do I say, adverse conditions. So at least right here, right now, we're in North Carolina. It's cold. However, despite the cold, the weeds are coming up and showing themselves and spreading. I just found blue skullcap in our yard, which I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, they're really showing themselves up. And weeds are a combination of earth and air, depending on which weed you're looking at. So for example, like dandelion is primarily air just because of the way it disperses its seeds. However, because it is a root plant, there's also that earth element, because that's where the nutritional aspect of the plant comes in. I mean, of course, the leaves are nutritional as well, but the roots really help to pull in the nutrients up and through the plant. So I really saw those connections there with the air and earth combination. And in pertaining to the body, so Saturn, which Saturn personally I've been connecting with for the past, I would say 2 years. And that's just pertaining to my mission here. I might do a separate video about that later, but it's been a very interesting experience, just unraveling all of that. So Saturn pertaining to the body is really just the structural basis of the body. So be it your bones, your teeth, just the really hard foundations of the body, as well as how blood is circulated through that. And so that is emphasized here with the Saturn in Aquarius squaring Uranus. Now the Uranus in Taurus is the etherical aspects of Earth, and it's also the upper compartments of the body. So Taurus, of course, is the neck and speech. And what came through while I was looking at this was the ethereal body coming and communicating through us via speech. I see that being very strong within the next month or so. So yeah, which is very interesting. So because the ethereal body tends to come through in very interesting ways. Usually it's in coordinates with your main element. So for me, it's water. That's how I tap into the ethereal. And the ethereal, we've been talking about elements heavily in my herbal class by my mentor, and it's very interesting and elusive. Now, the Saturn square Uranus, that isn't happening until mid-October. And before that is the expansive aspect of Jupiter that is square Uranus. And that also taps into the air element, the combination of the air and earth element that's really prevalent during this time. And so if you have been gardening throughout the winter, these will be your plants that blossom underground. So be it your beets, your turnips, your rutabagas, carrots, um, all the plants that grow and foster underground really embody the Jupiter aspect within them. These plants also, Jupiter plants, these Jupiter plants also tend to help us really tap into our inner child. They really open up our heart chakra um, and really elevate your mood. So these would be plants either elevate or sedate. So it's on that spectrum, one or the other. So on the sedative aspect, this is a kava kava, and I would also note, because of that earth element that is there, that Jupiter aspect, that combination in that restful playfulness, your body also has a chance to rejuvenate itself. And you find that through certain plants that carry those aspects, like kava kava. And then on a lighter note, of course, there's hops and linden, dandelion roots. A lot of them too also tend to be nutritional. Now, the square aspect that is between those two points that I mentioned, the square in Saturn and Uranus and the Jupiter square in Uranus, is mostly towards not allowing your body to flow. And there tends to be a separation between the upper half of your body and the lower. So you may feel a little bit segmented if you're not tapping into those particular aspects that are really into play right now. So yeah, so tapping into those plants that nourish us, depending on where you need that nourishment, whether it's due to not getting enough rest or not being able to express yourself as you need to, either it's with yourself or with others. So that's where that tension I see is coming up collectively anyway. On a more personal level, this may unravel in a different way or even more deeper and expansive. The Neptune square true north node sign is very interesting. Now, Diane Kramer has an amazing book. I'll link it below, really explaining what the nodes mean, the different, how do I say, variations according to different medical astrologers, what they interpret the meaning of those north and south nodes to mean pertaining to the body, which, you know, in her article, she explains different medical astrologers. Someone will say it pertains to the subconscious body. Another one had referenced that it signifies any inherited conditions to the body. So many different interpretations. So take this as is. However, this Neptune square, I think it's already happening because, yeah, Neptune in Pisces square, true north in Gemini, that's occurring the 26th of January. It's currently the 5th. And the true north node in Gemini, now, me personally, the nodes, I also correlated how it does to your personal development as it would to your health. So for example, with the North Node, for me, medically, I would, or health-wise, I would pertain it to, excuse me, the advancement or progression of what is already occurring in the body. And this may be for good or worse, just depends on what's going on. And, you know, South Node is more so just the deterioration of something that's going on. Or so that also could be a resolvement or a degrading of whatever is going on in the body. And so for it to be happening in Gemini, now Gemini rules the upper portion of the body. So your lungs, your diaphragm, um, your bronchioles, your nostrils even are co-joined by Taurus and Gemini, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I just think it's interesting how now, when was it? I think it was about a couple weeks ago, or not even a week ago, they had announced the second strain of the coronavirus to come about. So, and having it square in Neptune in Pisces, yeah, it's very interesting. You know, Pisces is the lymphatic system, the end of a life cycle, your feet. It was ruled by Pisces primarily. And then Neptune just reaffirms Pisces because Pisces, the sign of Pisces is in Neptune. So yeah, that square there is very interesting. This whole week is very interesting, just to say the least, on a grand scheme of things politically, with the advancements going on. I was just reading about the advancements and research that's going on with psychedelics and the herbal remedies in Thailand. Very interesting stuff going on right now. So yeah, so I just wanted to highlight that one there. And then the Jupiter sextile Chiron, that's just more expansive energy, which we'll probably be feeling next week because that'll be occurring the 11th of January. And that may also mean healing and resolvement, because Chiron is really the wounded warrior aspect of self. I've talked about it several times before in medical astrology videos in the past. I still need to do that one about Chiron. I have not forgotten. But yeah, Chiron's a very, although it's not a planet per se, it's a very powerful object that we observe. And then having it sextile in Jupiter, it's just combining that expansive, for me, that's more so just the resolvement aspects, kind of like with the nodes, of those two combining together. So within the next 2 weeks, you're probably feeling it now, you may be getting some encouragement regarding your health, and what's going on for you there. So yeah, it's very interesting. So that concludes this video of what's going on within the next month, according to the cosmos, collectively anyway. If you would like to explore it for yourself personally, this is something that I do incorporate into my herbal consultations. So of course, I say I'm like a non-traditional herbalist because yes, I do the traditional consultations. I also incorporate medical astrology and Reiki if needed into a client's portfolio if need be. So if you need direction in that aspect, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll put links below. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.